Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 289. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? I just want to say before we start, I'm repping. If you're looking at us on video, I'm repping the Giants hat. Okay, but I just wanted to let you know that football season is officially over. Giants and Jets suck.
Oh my God!
So
Jesus.
I'm looking forward.
Wow,
looking for it.
Way to be a fair weather fan, Dan. You might as well just toss that hat in the corner and go, fuck it. Season's over. Jesus.
I'm looking forward to Major League Baseball playoffs with the Yankees. God. All right. And the start of the basketball season with the Knicks and the Nets in late October, early November. Wow.
Yeah, I can tell where football lies in the major four US sporting events. It's at the bottom.
I'm looking forward to the NHL season starting, right? To the Islanders and the Rangers as well. All right, thank you.
Dude, you don't even know.
You know what? I'm looking forward to MLS with the two New York football teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Red Bulls and the other team that's new that I've never even heard of before. Until
there's the New York City Football Club, right? New Jersey.
The Red Bull is the Red. Well, first of all, they're all in New Jersey.
The New York City Football Club is one of those as well. I think there's three teams actually.
They're brand new. They're brand new because it was the Red Bull because they're like sponsored by Red Bull.
There is a Red Bull one. The New York City Football Club has been around maybe 10 years now. They've been around for a little bit. For
Major LS, you sure about that? I thought it was just the Red Bulls.
No,
because the Red Bulls got a lot of attention. Okay, we're gonna fact check that for next.
I went to the event in the financial district, and they gave out a bunch of stuff. So I have little keychains and posters and whatever of the New York City Football Club. So actually, do I have it here? I don't have it here. I did have it on my desk at one point because it was a cool keychain thing. I think I may have tossed it somewhere.
I'm looking forward to next year's WNBA with Liberty. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Okay.
Oh my God! Look! You weren't.
Football season started for the first 2 weeks, and then it ended. And then it abruptly
you weren't at the game last Sunday, and I gave you an invite. I said, "Hey, I got an extra ticket. Do you want to go?" You said, "Nah."
Why would I want to waste my time like that? Why would I want to waste?
I went all the way down there to see the team, and I was cheering them on all the way to the end. We stayed till the end of the game. And, we were there from the beginning to the end. So I don't want to hear it, this guy. I'm done with football. I went to the game and had to go tail between my legs and walk through the sea of Bronco fans. All right? So you don't know. You don't know about the hardship.
Listen, the Jets look
That's
promising.
A tough walk. That's a tough walk.
The Jets look promising.
Uh-huh.
Right? The young quarterback looks promising. I pray, if there is a God, I pray that the Giants get the number one pick and pick a quarterback. Pick a quarterback.
Wait. You're already giving up on Danny Dimes. Come on now.
I know this isn't the football. It's over. It's been 3 years.
Wow. Yeah. How long did it take? How long did it take?
You gave him a nickname? Wait, rewind. You gave him a nickname?
No, that is his nickname. His nickname is Danny Dimes. That's what they call him.
Dimes. Listen, I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, when you have a dime, like a dime bag, that's a positive thing. He's nothing positive. There's nothing positive.
All right. Tell me how many years it took Eli to get to the Super Bowl.
First of all, tell me how many
years
Eli.
4 years, all right, and he was not good his first couple of years, and everybody said, "Let's get rid of him." Took him to the Super Bowl twice, and they beat the Patriots both times. All right.
And he was terrible after each year too. He led the league in interceptions.
No, they made it to the playoffs. I think the year after each one of those Super Bowl runs.
He made the playoffs like 4 times in his career.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
4 times. He's been in. He was okay. Listen, I love Eli. Okay, I I personally think he should be in the Hall of Fame just for giving the Giants 2 Super Bowls and beating the greatest quarterback ever twice.
I mean, Brady is a beast. Brady is a beast. I'm not going to lie.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
I think he will be. He will be.
But when you talk about great quarterbacks, Eli's not even, mentioned, sniffed.
Well, that's not what we're talking about here. That's not what we're talking. I was just saying, how long did it take Manning to get to the Super Bowl? It's 4 years, all right? Danny Dimes, 3 years in, all right? You got to give that man a chance. You got to give that man a chance.
All right, he has until next year. Then we're picking a quarterback. That's it. That's it. That's it.
You're already throwing in the towel. When you get a new quarterback, it's a rebuilding year. You start from zero. We start from zero again.
We have no playmakers. We need to get a new coach.
You got Saquon. Saquon's good. Anyway.
First of all, he's not even playing. He's hurt. But okay. Right.
Well, he was in the other game. He was in the first game.
All right. The Jets and the Giants making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it.
The season's over. Okay, thank you. You've proven.
Way to throw in the towel. Way to throw in the towel. Oh, it's slightly an uphill, difficult battle. I don't want to even go on that journey. I won't even go on that journey. It's like you started the game on normal and then you died by accident and you're like, nah, F this game. I'm done. I'm not playing it ever again.
The game sucks.
You don't even give it a try. Oh.
Listen. On a Dave scale, this game and the Giants are trash.
Wow, this guy. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, this isn't a football podcast, but I'm happy to get into it.
I can voice my frustrations.
Yeah, I get it.
On a happier note,
it's tough.
I didn't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
Last week was National Video Game Day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Listen, there's a day for everything. There's a mother-in-law day, a father-in-law day.
Uh-huh.
There's a kids day.
Oh, sure.
October.
Yeah.
October is kids day.
Yeah.
Nobody celebrates it because you know why? Because kids day is Christmas.
Kids day is every day, to be honest, right? Yeah. Your parents take care of you. They feed you food. They sometimes give you presents and video games. It's always kids day.
It's always kids day. So. Video game day. Give me in honor of video game day. Give me a video game memory from your past that wasn't Christmas, because we've talked about Christmas.
Oh, we have. I think we've exhausted all our Christmas stories. I mean, I'll tell you this in kind of a general sense. I loved the weekend when I was a kid, right? And you say, I'm like, well, yeah, no duh. But I mean, I love when I rented a game.
I love it. I love it as an adult too. So go ahead.
Well, yeah, right. You would beg your parents to rent a game, right? You'd be like, all right, I'm renting a game on Friday, right? And you play it all Friday night. And then you get up early on Saturday and you brush off the NES and you get your bowl of cereal, you pop the game in, and you're like, all day you're in front of the TV, right?
Okay, for our younger viewers, physical media was the only thing. There was no digital media.
Well,
there were places where you had to rent movies. Yes, I know it's mind-boggling, but there were places where you had to rent movies, right? For a couple of 48 hours, 72 hours. And
usually it's a 2-3 day rental, yeah.
And you rent video games.
That's right. It was a blockbuster of an idea, Dan.
I know.
To rent out video games in VHS.
That's a large reason why a lot of retro games are really, really hard, really, really tough, right?
The mid to end of the NES era and all through the Super Nintendo and Genesis era, there were games designed specifically to be very hard to beat, low amount of continues, very high difficulty level to combat. Yeah, you would combat the beat it in a weekend situation, right? Because the company makes no money if you don't buy the game, right? Yeah. They make money on the cartridge that, Blockbuster bought for $60, $70 or whatever the wholesale bulk price was. But that's it. And then Blockbuster makes all of the money from there on out, which is interesting, I think that's partially why Battletoads is so hard.
Well, Battletoads is crazy hard.
It's not a weekend beat. No. No.
I would say. I remember back in the day. Then we're talking about the late '80s. I would spend a night at my uncle's house. Still the NES era, right? And he had an NES, and he had like a bunch of games, and he had the trackpad and everything, right? So you could run track.
Nice.
So at night, him and his girlfriend would go behind closed doors and lock the door so we couldn't get in.
Rated G nights over here.
Rated G nights, and we would sneak just to make sure the door was locked, because when they locked the door, they didn't come out.
Yeah.
So we would sneak, and we would slowly turn the doorknob, make sure it was locked, and then we would go and turn the TV on, turn the volume all the way down, and then we would pop in whatever NES games he had in, and we would play all night while they were sleeping.
Nice.
Yeah. I think he actually, I don't remember vividly. I'm gonna have to ask my cousin, but I think he caught us one night and was like, "Go to sleep," right? Because at this point we're like 8 years old, 8 years old.
Right. Oh, staying up past your bedtime, right? 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. No, we got to beat this game.
Yeah, no, we got to play Super Mario Brothers 3, the second best game of all time.
Right next to Barbie Horse Adventures.
Oh yeah, right. You're right. Okay, so it's the third best game of all time.
That's funny. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just, weekends were the time, right? You could sit there and you could play all day. You had nothing to do. Maybe I had to do some chores around the house. Maybe you had to help clean up or whatever. Maybe.
Oh my God. Maybe. No. Listen, you become a grade A dishwasher. Okay. By the time you're 6 years old.
Yeah. Right.
Wash those dishes.
Oh man. Okay? Yeah, my dad would drag me outside. He'd say, "Clean the pool, help me pick vegetables." And when I was old enough and I could do it in a straight line, he's like, "Mow the lawn," and that was torture. Especially during the summer.
Did you live in a farm?
we had a little garden. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad loves the outdoors, so he'd be out there like all the time, and we had tomatoes and onions and zucchini and peppers, just everything, So
wow.
there's a lot of shit you had to do, right? It was at least an hour, maybe like 2 hours out there picking all the stuff, and my dad would make sure I got everything, and I said, "Okay, can I play video games now?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay."
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we have an awesome show this week. We're going to talk about THQ's Nordic 10th anniversary showcase, right? And then we're going to talk about Nintendo giving people, especially me, a feature that we've been clamoring for years. But before we get into any of that, let's begin with another video game delay, right? We got Battlefield 2042 officially delayed until November. I gotta be honest, I think this could hurt Battlefield. That's just my personal opinion. I'll tell you why. Battlefield has no single player campaign, right?
No, this is all multiplayer. Yeah.
All multiplayer, right? October is usually Call of Duty, right? So Call of Duty Vanguard's coming out at some point in October. I don't know the exact release date. People who are playing, Call of Duty, regardless if you're, playing it for the single player, it's people usually play Call of Duty for the multiplayer. It's playing.
That's the big draw, yeah.
That's the draw for Call of Duty. And then in December you have Halo, and if you have an Xbox, and it's going to be free multiplayer, right? You don't have to pay for that.
Xbox and PC, yeah, I play for free. Yeah.
So it's sandwiched in between two major games that I think are bigger name games than Battlefield.
At least maybe. I mean, like Call of Duty's top dog, right? That's the one.
Call of Duty's top dog. The wild card is Halo, right? But because Halo started it all with the first-person shooter online, console-wise at least.
Yeah, they really kind of like bashed that door down for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think both games have single-player campaigns, so casuals like me will buy them. And I think this is a Titanfall situation, right? Because Titanfall came in between Battlefield and Call of Duty. Right?
Well, Titanfall 2, you mean, right?
Titanfall 2, yeah. Because Titanfall 2 came in like early November, and I think Battlefield came in like late November, when Call of Duty always comes in October, right? And I think this is that same thing. I think this could be sort of the same thing.
There was definitely it's the same situation, right? There was a glut of first-person shooters, quality first-person shooters, ones that had the pedigree, right? They had the history behind it, where Titanfall had a mixed reception for the first one, because that also had no single player. It was just multiplayer. I really liked it, but it had some issues, and part 2 had a single player, which was amazing. Thought it was really good. And the multiplayer was good, but you had the problem of going up against Call of Duty, Battlefield, and whatever else came out.
I know, but if Battlefield 2042 had a single player campaign, it would cater to more casual people like me who would buy it, right? But this is strictly multiplayer.
Yeah.
Because Halo Infinite, which is highly anticipated multiplayer, is free. It's free. They don't have to spend $60, $70 for this game to play it. Right. I think also, contributes to you got to pay $60 to buy this when you can wait like maybe 2-3 weeks. You can play Halo, which, or Call of Duty beforehand. People were going to try to perfect the Call of Duty skills 2 or 3 weeks prior to this game coming out. I think this is going to be a hindrance on Battlefield. I think EA is setting this game up to die.
Well, one thing I'll say is that the success of any first-person shooter nowadays is the online community, is the support and the updates that come to the multiplayer version, right? As much as I love single player, and I do, and that's the first thing I play is the single player to get used to the weapons and all that, and then I try and go online and not be a total weeb and just, get my ass kicked. Right, so I want to get used to the game and all that, and I love the story just like you do. But I also like playing online. I don't mind dying. I don't mind being at the bottom of the ranks as long as the mechanics are tight and the gameplay is good and there's a variety of levels and all that. But once you're done with the single player, that's it, right? They don't really give you many reasons to go back and play it again, unless you want to speed run it or you maybe there's alternate branching paths like in Cold War. You had some options, which I thought was kind of cool. But I think the online community is going to be strong for this. So
really,
well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's Battlefield. Battlefield 1 did really well. Battlefield 5 did really well, and I feel like there's people that are still playing those games because, usually you have your game or your franchise, right? Like, we were talking about the Giants earlier. Giants are our team. We're ride or die, as much as you like to say the season's over. But
listen, I read it for 2 weeks and it's over. So.
Right. Well, that's, we're never going to be like, San Francisco, like 49ers or Cowboys. I mean, it's blasphemous, right? We would never do that, right? Never. And I think people get into the genre, right? You're an Xbox fanboy, you're a PlayStation fanboy, you're a Nintendo fanboy, you're a Call of Duty fanboy, right? You're going to buy the releases year after year, I think. So I think the important part for me is that it's coming out before the holiday season. So you get all of the holiday sales, right? You get all the parents buying the games for the kids, right? You get all the people like us with disposable income who are going to buy the game. So I think you're right. It's a season of tough competition for sure. Halo doesn't come out on an annual basis. I mean, the last Halo game was 2015, maybe 2016. It's been a while. Yeah. So, it's going to be a little tough, but, I think it's going to do well. I predict it to be the best-selling Battlefield game.
Wow.
I would say that.
Agree with that.
I would say that.
With that.
Okay.
I think it won't do better than the last one.
Because of the
single-player campaign. Yeah.
Because of the season.
I'm not going to buy it. Casuals aren't going to buy it. Casual people aren't going to buy it.
For people who want a single-player campaign, yeah, they're not going to buy it, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that contributes to the sales, right? So,
well, I mean, to be fair, if this came out in a year where there was no Call of Duty or Halo, you still wouldn't get it.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's the lack of single-player that's the bigger detriment, I think. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see what they could do with the engine with a campaign.
Well, you know what's the biggest detriment? That people can't get their hands on next-gen consoles, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it looks like, you could get on a PS5. PS5s have been, on a regular, dropping more so than the Xbox. And because of that, the PS5 scalper prices have been falling, right? Like, a year ago, they've been, if you wanted the PS5 and you're not, like a hawk watching, online drops from, retailers.
Gotta follow that Wario 64.
You're watching it from the scalpers from like $900 to $1,000, right? So now the prices are dropping to more like $600 to $700 range. So maybe $100 to $200 over retail prices. And that's because PS5s have been dropping on a regular basis, unlike Xbox, which the Series X prices have just steadily kept their high value of $800 to $900. So hopefully Xbox can address this and put more regular drops out. All of the scalper thing I've never heard of this, and I've never really been a big into scalping consoles until this generation. That's because it was a mix of COVID and supply shortages. But if we can get these consoles in stores, sold in stores, because right now you can only buy a PS5 and a Series X online. Once they're sold in stores, this whole scalper thing, people holding 2,000 or 500 PS5s in their basement, that those days will be over. So.
Yeah, I'm to speak about the not having them in stores, right? Like, that was a mitigation tactic to prevent the spread of COVID, right? That was it.
Yes.
That was it. Well, I mean, sure.
To be fair, it was a mixture of we can't supply a lot of these consoles, and we can only shipping was a problem, right? Like PlayStation, Sony had to fly out
because of COVID. Yeah, it was all because of COVID, right? But we've kind of I'm not saying that we squashed it, but we have the vaccination, at least in this country, readily available, right? Everyone's
if people take it, yeah.
Well, there's that too. I don't want to get into all that, but I mean, it's there, it's available. A lot of people are vaccinated, right? We have things in place. We know so much more about the virus now. Like, I don't know why not now it's not in the stores, right? Because that would mitigate the online bots, right? If you can't get it online, then your bot is useless. If you have to go to the store to pick it up,
well, it's
and you just have to be there.
It's all about the the supply constraints, the chip shortage, and it's not just about the chip, right? Because I mean, look, we talked about it last week. Guilty Gear. Or 2 weeks ago, we talked about Guilty Gear, right? Like, you have Guilty Gear Strive for the PS5, right?
Yep.
Like, not a lot of it wasn't delisted, but it's not a lot of actual physical copies out there. So we both took the GameStop store.
We took the last copy. Yeah.
Where last week I had my gamer grief where my code for cosmetics, by the way, but my code didn't work.
Still, you got to be a little salty about that.
I am very salty about that. But I mean, even this week, Deathloop, right? I bought it on. I had a $25 coupon on GameStop, so I figured I'll use it online, right? And the game came from a GameStop store, and I have Deathloop, haven't played it, so it's not going to be in the segment of the games that we're playing. But it was a store copy. And that's just because they're not, trying to get the physical versions out there are tough. Manufacturing is tough right now because, a lot of places, manufacturing is tough. It's shut down or limited in some capacities. So that's why, these systems aren't sold in stores. And to be honest, it's not even just, it's a hindrance for this generation, but PlayStation 4 Pros and Series X's, GameStop and GameStop is looking for you to trade those systems in so they can sell them because they don't have a lot of systems in general are hard to find.
Yeah,
so there's limited supply.
Yeah. I'm still amazed I have my two. I'm amazed that you have your two. Very happy to have those consoles. So.
Well, I mean, thanks to GameStop and Joe. That's
right. That's right. That's right. Big ups to both.
Big ups to GameStop and big ups to Joe. We wouldn't have our two consoles. So, well, but if you're looking for a PS5, the scalpers, scalper prices are dramatically coming down to $600 and $700. But let's switch gears and let's talk about the Switch, by the way, which we're either going to need GameStop or we're going to need Joe to help us out with getting the OLED,
Switch
Pro, the Switch OLED. Yeah,
the
Switch OLED. Maybe we should take that day off and just wait in line at the Nintendo store in New York City. We should.
Dan, I tried that already to get the pre-order of the PS5, and they only had like 2 pre-orders available.
I know, but
I wasted a whole entire day.
We should wait in line in New York City for the Switch OLED. I think we should take that day off.
I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that.
Come on.
I've already been burned once.
You know what? All right, people, listen. Continue listening to the show. I'm going to convince Dave to take a sick day, and we're both going to just wait in line. All right, at the New York at the Nintendo store.
Nope.
Okay. Nope. Yes, we are. I'm going to convince Dave because we both will own a Switch OLED day one.
I hope so. If you want to go and wait and pick me up a copy, I won't stop you. I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back for it, of course. Don't worry about that.
That's not happening. You're gonna wait and hold this place in line while I go to Five Guys across the street to get us breakfast. So yes, I'm gonna kill your keto diet, but
you do what you got to do for the do what you got to do.
Speaking of the Switch, Platinum Games, who put out Star Fox Zero, which we have semi-fond memories of, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was PAX.
You have semi-fond memories of. Oh well, yeah, okay. We did get to play PAX,
but we wanted to get those T-shirts on the last day, right? We were still at the convention center. We're 3 hours until our flight left. Playing Star Fox Zero so we can get the T-shirt, and then rushing to the airport so we can get our plane. Platinum Games wants to they want to port Star Fox Zero to the Nintendo Switch. They're up for it. Nintendo just needs to get the green light.
Star Fox Zero, huh? Wasn't that game not well received?
No. The game was well received. The controls for the game.
Well,
you had to use the gamepad, the motion controls of the gamepad.
Oh, that's right. You had to hold it up like you were. Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, you should be able to get out of that, and hopefully, I hope they do port it.
I would bet money on yes, because I think every damn Wii U game that's worth anything has already been ported, except maybe for Star Fox Zero. And if you change the controls, there you go.
Star Fox Zero, maybe add some, extra missions, right? Star Fox Guard with double pack. I think we both have the double pack. If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
WarioWare, the WarioWare game hasn't been ported. There's been a handful of games that are Wii U exclusive that haven't been ported, right? Even
very few though.
Even Splatoon. Splatoon 2 is on the Switch, not the original Splatoon.
Right. But just about everything else has already been moved over.
Yeah.
There's definitely a version you can play.
So, all right, Dave, it's the part of the show that I know you love, as we always try to start the show but epically fail.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been playing?
One of my favorite games of all time. My favorite beat 'em up, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That's not a beat 'em up, Dan. That's not a beat 'em up. No, unless you count jumping on turtle shells, beating 'em up.
I just heard favorite games. I knew it was Super Mario.
Yeah, exactly. Top 10 favorite beat 'em up. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Love it. It's great on the Switch.
You finally got it on the Switch.
Oh yeah, no, I got the bit.
Edition.
I got the special edition. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a wonderful little video tribute that I put up on Instagram. It's also on Twitter. You should take a look at that. It's a labor of love, baby. Yeah. Labor of love. And man, it's the same game as you remember. It's got all the DLC on there, so it's complete. You don't have to download anything. Everything's on the disc. And the version that I got comes with the map and some fake concert tickets and the CD soundtrack and a couple other things in there. It's amazing, amazing game from Limited Run. Can't say enough good about it. And I did it. I did it, Dan. You said it was a pain, and it was, but I made it happen, and I got my save file from the PS4 to the PS5 so I can play Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. And
yeah, well, I mean, you don't really need the save file to play Intergrade, to be honest.
Well, they didn't tell me that. So I downloaded the whole entire. Well, I installed the whole.
You didn't need to.
Well, okay. So I installed the whole entire game, and then I forgot that Intergrade was its own separate download with its own download code. So I did the whole thing, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get my save file over, right? And then I had to load up my PS4 because I wasn't going to install Final Fantasy VII on my PS5 because you can do it that way too, but then you still have to get the save files down.
It's very convoluted, yes.
Right. So I had my PS5 booted up. It said, oh, you need to download your save files. So I booted up the PS4, dusted off my copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the original remake, put that in there, uploaded all of my save files, right? I also had to get like a patch. There was a patch for like the system, which I could have bricked my system. There was a patch for the PS5, which I had to get. There was a controller update, right? And then I had to push my save files to the cloud, which I did. All right, then I had to go back to the turn off my PS4, go back to the PS5, figure out how to get my save files down from the cloud, right? I had to cancel out of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade to do that. I had to sync the saves, download them, load up Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, right? Do all of that, and then realize I didn't have to do any of that. Because the Remake Intergrade doesn't use your save file from 7 Remake. It is completely separate. You start off at, you get some stuff, but you basically start off at level 1 with Yuffie. It's a self-contained adventure. Square Enix, fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm throwing it out there right now. Too big. This is my gamer grief. I'm sorry.
Did you beat it? Did you at least beat it?
No. I've only played like an hour of it so far, which I know I'm like 50% done with the game.
You got like 3 more hours.
I know. But Square Enix, come on. Why can't you be like Ghosts of Tsushima, where there's just one little link, and you load up the game, oh, you want to get your save stuff over? Boom, here it is. And that's it. They made it needlessly complex, and I didn't even have to do any of that. They poorly communicated all of that. They should have put a card inside the thing. Here are the steps. Here's what you have to do. At least do that. If you're going to have a complicated process, here's your 5-step process. Here's how you do it. I'm sorry. It's a major fail. Ugh.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
You need 5 steps. You need like 1 step. Don't download it. Just play it.
Well, what? No, you have to download. No, that is the 1 step. You have to download it because it's not on the disc. So you had to do that. Ugh.
All right.
Oh, terrible. I'm sorry. I had to go off a little bit. It was the games we're playing turned into a gamer grief. But yeah, I'm salty.
All right. So I made it to the last boss on Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 on the Switch.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is not easy. Okay?
You're having a time with it. Okay.
It's one of those where you get to beat the boss 3 times, right?
Right.
3
different forms,
full energy, right? Full energy. You got to beat the boss 3 times. I made it to the 3rd boss. I'm done. I'm done. I think I'm done. I don't think I'm gonna go back to it. I think I'm pretty good with it, right? Like,
I don't want to watch the
tutorial. I think I figured out how to beat the 1st boss. I figured out how to beat the 2nd boss, which isn't easy, by the way. I think I'm good. I think I'm good with the again, we talked about it where they made the older games harder because the rental market, right? It is that hard, right? It is. They made it that hard where you got to beat it 3 times instead of just making it 1 time where maybe an extra, the life bar is a little bit longer, or maybe making it where he changes his strategy and you got to change your strategy, right? So I don't need 3 different boss levels at once. So
right. Yeah,
no continues for the boss battles,
right.
Like if you lose on the 3rd boss,
you got to go back to the first part of it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like if you made it to the end of the game and you can't beat the game, I feel like you've gotten value out of it at that point, right? Whether you beat it or not doesn't really matter. It'd be nice to see the ending. I agree, but I would be okay. I would be okay. I got stopped in Kingdom Hearts at the battle with Ursula, right, in the Little Mermaid world. Could never beat it, but I ain't mad now because I got value out of the game. I just couldn't get past that part. Still don't know how to beat it.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah. And I've been playing The Simpsons on the PS2. I have the Simpsons for the Xbox and the PS3 are, I don't want to say expensive, but they're a little pricey, right? $40.
Simpsons Hit and Run?
No. The Simpsons of the game.
Oh, they made a Simpsons the game?
Yeah, like Simpsons the movie.
Yeah.
At the time they had Simpsons the game.
Wow.
That actually came out.
I don't know.
And it came out for all platforms, like literally all platforms. Came out for PS3, 360.
Of course.
Those are, again, a little bit up there in price, like 30, 40, 50. Oh, no, 40, 50, $50. I have the PS2 and the PSP version of The Simpsons because this came out in 07, 08, right? Whenever the movie came out.
Sure.
So it's not a great game. I mean, it's great in the sense of it makes you feel like you're watching The Simpsons, right? Like the first level, you're Homer in a dream sequence and everything is made of dessert and you have to beat up the bunnies.
He goes to Chocolate Land, right? That's
yeah.
That's when the episode where the Germans took over the power plant.
But the controls of the game are not great. They're just not 1-to-1, and the camera angle because it suffers from. And I don't know if this is just a PS2 thing, right? I haven't played the 360 or the Xbox or the PS3 or even the PSP version. Even though I own it, I played it on the PS2. The camera sucks, right? Like you could play as Bartman, and I'm trying to get the 1-to-1 view where I'm it's third person where I can see from behind. Right, and the camera angles just suck on the game. So I would like, what, as a Saturday morning retro recycle, remaster, or remake, I kind of want a remake where they remake this game from soup to nuts and make the controls a lot better. That would be great.
Sure, right? Because I mean, it's The Simpsons. How could you not love The Simpsons?
I know. Right? I mean, they're on their 31st season.
That's insane. Longest running cartoon series
ever.
Yeah. Not the longest running TV series. Well,
I think Meet the Press is like the longest running TV series.
Meet the Press is up there. Yeah. The Tonight Show I think is also pretty high. Because I mean,
the show was in the 50s.
That's right. Right. Like well before Johnny Carson, right? Jack Parr, maybe. Yeah.
Listen. The Tonight Show in the 50s, I think, like I watched the history, and if you haven't watched it, watch CNN's like the history of the Tonight Show, right, of late night. The first female Tonight Show host was in the 50s, and it was the Tonight Show.
Yeah,
for like one season, I believe, which was incredible, right? Because we didn't have another female late night show host until like 40-50 years later. Right.
So, Lily Singh, right? Is that who you're talking about?
Well, yeah. And well, yeah, I mean it, the first show was in the 50s and we didn't have it again until Lily Singh. So that means that's crazy. That is actually crazy because we have so many like funny comedian female comics out there that it took until 2019, I think, is when she got her late night show.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So. She was a YouTube superstar, and then blew up and has a late night show.
Well, she had a late night show. I think she was canceled. I mean,
oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think it did good ratings.
Right.
So The Simpsons is up there as far as like definitely cartoons, like one of the, you know, best, longest running cartoons.
Yeah.
So
it's a classic, man.
All right. With that said, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Not a lot of big stories last week, but I do want to start with THQ Nordic's 10th anniversary showcase. Right? It's the 10th anniversary of, I forgot it was Nordic Games buying the THQ sort of, you know, whatever was left over from, you know, the bankruptcy sale.
Well, Embracer Group, right?
Yeah, Embracer Group.
Yeah.
That's totally correct. Embracer Group buying the THQ, whatever was left over from the bankruptcy sale, and then they rebranded as THQ Nordic, right?
So, big stretch.
It's not a big stretch. And I want to go over everything, but they did have some good stuff in here, and they had Jeff Keighley sort of, you know, be the host of the show. So. They started off with Destroy All Humans 2 Remastered, which they're calling Destroyed All Humans 2 Reprobed, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's a very on brand.
So that's not big stretch. We knew that would be coming. I mean, they remastered the first one, right, for the Xbox and the PS4. So this makes sense that the second one would be coming. Now, there was a third game in the series that's really expensive. I think it only came out on the PS3, but I can see, I don't know if they would remaster that game, but I could see a new game in the series after this game comes out, right?
Sure.
Like maybe come out with like Destroy All Humans 3 and just forget about the, you know, that third game that came out on the PS3.
Oh, was there a third game? I don't even remember. It must have been that good.
No. There was a third game that came out that's like super expensive on and it came out again. I don't think it came out on the 360. I could be wrong about that, but I know it came out on the PS3. It's not called Destroyed All Humans 3.
Right. It's got a subtitle or whatever it is.
It has a subtitle. But I can see them coming out with like another game in the series, right? Maybe Destroy All Humans.
Sure. I think the first one did well originally. The remake, I think, did well.
Well, the concept of it was, yeah.
You know, it well enough for them to make a sequel, well enough for them to do a remake, and now a second remake, you know. So I don't see why not. You know, they have the license. They're obviously doing stuff with it. Why not kind of do a new entry, you know? Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I like the concept of Destroy All Humans. Right, where you know you're pretty much on the alien side. So I always like it when you get like something new in something, right? Like, and I like the movie, right? I remember when Destroy All Humans came out, like the movie came. Yeah, there was a movie version of this, and Jack Nicholson was in it. I don't know if it was called Destroy All Humans.
Oh no, you're thinking of Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks. There we go.
That's completely different.
I know, but Destroy All Humans sort of came out in that vein, right? Like I remember Mars Attacks, and
Mars Attacks was crazy. Yeah, directed by Tim Burton, I think.
You sure it was Tim Burton? I don't know about Tim Burton.
Somebody really important or notable directed that movie, but yeah, similar kind of style, right? You know, the Martians are coming down to kind of wreak havoc on the land. Yeah.
I mean, come on. It had the original, you know, or the best at that time before Heath Ledger. It had the best Joker. It had Jack Nicholson. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Come on. He was great.
Come on. It was Destroy All Humans: Path of the Furon, and it did come out on the Xbox 360.
Oh yeah, vaguely familiar.
The PS, and it came out on the Wii. Destroy All Humans: Big Willy Unleashed came out on the Wii. The PS3 version is the expensive one.
Okay.
That's like almost $300.
Jesus.
If you wanted to get it for the 360, it's like $30.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I'm glad I got that. I'm glad I knew it wasn't called the Destroy All Humans 3, but I knew it was like sort of the third one in
the
series.
They just dropped the number from it, which is common nowadays, right?
Yeah. I mean, we got Halo Infinite coming out.
Exactly.
Halo 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, we also got Outcast 2, A New Beginning, right? Outcast, if you don't remember, or if you weren't born yet, Outcast was like an original game that came out in 1999, right?
Right.
You're like a space explorer that lands on a planet.
Mm-hmm.
This was PC only, I believe. I don't believe it came out on consoles.
Yeah.
And they were working on a sequel, and then they abruptly went bankrupt. So, this is kind of crazy that we're getting a sequel maybe 20, 21, 22 years later.
I had to look this game up because you were telling me about it, and I'm like, I don't think I remember that. And I was big into PC gaming in the late 90s, all right? I had a rig that was like capable. I was playing Half-Life and StarCraft and, just all those great first-person shooters, real-time strategy games and whatnot. Do not remember this game. I looked it up. The graphics look terrible. Even for its time.
22 years ago. Yeah.
Even adjusted for back in the day. Ooh, they look weird. But it was, open world. It looks a little like No Man's Sky kind of.
Yeah, it does. No.
A little bit,
it totally does.
Kind of running around in open world.
No Man's Sky, if No Man's Sky was made 20 years ago.
Right. So, interesting. Yeah, interesting to bring this game back.
Then we got MX versus ATV Legends, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love the MX ATV games that I have it on the PS2 and the PS3. Right?
Yeah,
and we're getting Legends, and I also the PSP, and we're getting the Legends. So I'm looking forward to that. Elix, which is sort of like was an ambitious open world sci-fi RPG game that came out in 2017 for the Xbox, but it was a buggy mess. I do own this.
Same.
I do own this, and it is super buggy, but we're getting a sequel to that. Hopefully they can fix a lot of those bugs.
Yeah, I've been meaning to pop it in and play it for sure.
Oh, but the coup de grace, the mic drop moment, we're getting a new SpongeBob game. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake. So that was like their big moment. I figured it would be Time Splitters. Again, if it was me, I would have started with a SpongeBob game and then ended with Time Splitters. I think Time Splitters is more of a mic drop moment. I do believe Time Splitters is in the works. I just don't think it's ready yet or anywhere near ready. Right?
Oh, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree.
So I think they're really early on in development with that. That's why the only thing they had to show was SpongeBob. But listen, SpongeBob. Bikini, whatever that
Battle for Bikini Bottom, yeah.
Battle for Bikini Bottom, the remake, at least, was very popular. People liked the original game back in the early 2000s. So I can, them work, THQ Nordic working with Nickelodeon with the license. I can see them making a new one and it being popular. I'll buy it. I mean, listen, I love a good action platformer.
If it's, that Battle for Bikini Bottom game is apparently beloved. Did not realize. I thought it was just a cheap little tie-in with some decent cartoon graphics, and that was that. But no. People really love that game. Yeah, but I do have to mention, I know it may have missed your radar, but Jagged Alliance 3, speaking of old properties from the late 90s coming back, the tactical strategy game, for which they made 2 on the PC, and then Jagged Alliance Rage? Well, no, Jagged Alliance 2, Jagged Alliance Delta Force, I think, and Jagged Alliance Rage, which I think was like a remake, and now Jagged Alliance 3 is coming out, so very hyped for that. Very good game back in the day. It was one of the first games that had like a computer system that I can remember. Like you would log on to your terminal and get email and get updates, and you could recruit new people through this whole computer system, which, I mean, computers necessarily weren't that new when this game came out, but it was kind of neat to see like, oh, you're logging into a terminal, like you're using the computer to play the game, which in the game you're using the computer to log on, and like, I don't know, it was just a fun little system that they had for like getting all your information and also like hiring new recruits and whatnot. So.
Well, that's what I was talking about with Destroy All Humans, right? Like I wouldn't put it past them if they're working on Destroy All Humans 3, even though there were sort of 2 other games in the series, right? There was Wii U, and then another game that was stupidly expensive for the PS3, but you could buy it on the Xbox 360. I do know about Jagged Alliance 3. I have no recollection of the first 2 games or the other games, the spin-off games, right?
Right.
So, but they did announce that too. It was I think the beauty of this is they're taking old school games and making the sequels that we never got 20 years ago.
Yep.
Right, and hopefully they can bring these IPs to light for a new generation and make them good, right? So we can move forward. And I don't want them to just breathe the old IP machine, right? Like I hope to have some new stuff in the works for us. Sure.
Well, they're a very large company. If you look at their organizational chart, there's a lot. They got Deep Silver in there, THQ Nordic, like that whole division and whatnot. There's so many different companies and properties and whatnot. So I agree. You don't want to keep trudging up the nostalgia machine and just
as long as they get a time splitters through.
That's all we need. And they can start making new games again. Or sequels.
Well, you know what? They can make any games they want. We need consoles to play them on, right?
Well, that's true.
So, let's talk. We talked about the PS5 and the scalper prices going down, right? Because the drops for the PS5 are coming out more frequent.
Yep.
So, if you have a PS5, that's awesome. Hopefully, you'll get a PS5 soon, just like Dave. PlayStation just released a firmware update to make popular quality of life changes, and I gotta say, this is awesome. You can finally change out the internal memory, right, of the PS5.
Yeah,
and we're not gonna get into the minutia of that. There are places on YouTube that you can Google and find out how you can change it. But the thing that I was really looking forward to, I didn't even know this was going to be a thing. When you double click the home button, right, and you have the sub screen that comes up from the bottom, it's always a pain in the ass to scroll all the way to the right. Turn off the console. You can customize that now, and you can bring those buttons more towards the left, which I did. So as soon as I double click the button, it automatically goes on, the power button, and I can turn it off.
Right.
Put it in rest mode.
Yeah. So. Well, I get that with a single button click now, where it used to be 3. So I'm super happy that it takes 1 button click and then scroll over and the power button. So yeah, both those things are amazing. They don't necessarily seem like a lot on the surface, but my God, do they go a long way.
They go a long way.
Yeah, man. I don't even know what else is in the update, but that is...
Who cares what else is on update?
Right. You can be able to shut the machine off. It doesn't take more than 10 seconds. Yeah. Very happy.
So, I will say this, though. The scalpers are trying to put because they changed sort of like the heat sink and stuff with the digital version only, not the CD version where you can, the disc version.
I thought they updated both.
No. The software update goes for both, but I'm saying the physical system, the digital version was updated where it's a little bit lighter, and there was a lot of controversy over, is that hotter? Is it not hotter?
Yeah, I thought it was for the disc and
it was the digital version. And Austin Evans made a video, and he had to make an apology video because he was getting death threats because he put out and said it was worse than the original. But then, Digital Foundry said, no, it's not really worse than original. It's actually better than the original.
Yeah. So like Gamers Nexus did the real work and did the deep dive. They partnered with Digital Foundry to kind of like present their findings. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame Austin Evans for making that video. You know, he was obviously trying to test it and whatever. Sure, you're gonna get some clicks and whatever off the clickbaity title, right? Oh, the old one's better than the new one. I don't think that was that. I don't think that was his intention. But yeah, you definitely don't get to you don't deserve death threats for that. But you do have to do the. He was wrong. You do have to do the work. He did a very basic. Here's a temperature sensor. I'm going to put it up to this machine. Here's a temperature sensor. I'm going to put it up to this machine. And Gamers Nexus described how to do it properly and why what Austin Evans did didn't necessarily work. And they did like the deep dive on it and all that. So surprisingly, because you would think if there's less material to dissipate heat, right? If you have a smaller heat sink and smaller copper and whatever else, it's not going to perform as well. But that's not always the case. Right, they did some things, and I guess shrinking it down like improve the airflow a little bit, which is why they can have it. They can have a smaller heatsink on there, which is great, and it also reduces their cost per machine, right? So now they can make money off those machines, which economically is great, right? And it'll allow them to churn out more machines at a profit. So win-win there, and the heatsink or the temperature is like. It's the same. It's like a net zero. They're like within 1 degree, if even.
Listen, he did the basic version of like his test, and I didn't think it was that bad. But he did admit that maybe the name of his video, right, the new PS5 worse than the old PS5.
Yeah, I clicked on it exactly because of that. All right, and I never watch Austin Evans. Not that I don't like him. He's just not in my he's not on my feed. And I saw this one.
Yeah. I've been watching Austin Evans for many years, and I think that was a little clickbaity. And
he got me to click. He
deserves some criticism for the name of the title.
Yeah,
but I don't really blame him for the basic test that he did. Right. So
I mean, if you don't know, you don't know.
No matter what. But no matter what, death threats is just not warranted.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not.
I mean, listen, at that level of death threats. Come on.
Really? No, yeah, no. Never.
But let's shift. We went from hardware. Let's go to software. Let's go to games, right? One of the most anticipated games of next year, at least, is God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I know I love the original God of War, and
you love the remake of God of War.
The original 2018 God of War.
The original remake, right. The original PS4 remake.
I've been playing through the original PS2 games, right, of God of War recently. And Corey Balog, game director, explains why God of War Ragnarok will end the Norse story, okay? This won't be a trilogy of God of War games. And he explains it's because game development takes so long, right? At least 5 years. It took them 5 years to make the God of War 2018. So think about that. When the PS4 first launched, they started production or development on God of War 2018. And then, God of War 2022 is coming out. They started God of War Ragnarok right when this, the original for the PS4 God of War was ending in 2018. So that makes another 5 years. So having God of War in Norse mythology in 2027 just doesn't.
It's going to be a little outdated. Yeah, it's going to be a little outdated.
People are going to have moved on from this, and they want something new and want something different. So maybe we'll see maybe we'll see Kratos in Egypt at that point.
Oh my God! Right,
something different. So
God
of War Ragnarok is not Uncharted: A Lost Legacy. It's not just sort of DLC. It is a brand new game, 5 years in development, and we will all the questions we had from the original 2018 game will be answered here, and hopefully he'll go one-on-one with Thor. And who's Thor? Who's Thor's father? I forgot the name
Odin
already.
Odin, yeah,
right. And that will answer all those questions.
The God of Gods. It was interesting because I think they originally pitched it as DLC for God of War or an expansion for God of War. Obviously this is going to be a full-featured 68-hour game, considering the long development cycle.
70.
So
it's going to be 70. Come on.
or whatever, it could be $70 for the game, whatever it is, and we're definitely gonna buy the game. But I don't know if you saw the uproar over the depiction of Thor himself.
No, really?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you watch any of the media for it, Thor is a fat MFer. Right, he a big dude with a beer belly,
just like Thor from Endgames.
Oh yeah. Thor with the dad bod. He's got like a big dad bod going on, and fans are like all super upset because like, no, that's not how Thor's supposed to be. And it's like, A, he's a mythological character, and B, apparently, if you read any of the like mythology from kind of back in the day and whatnot, it's a little bit more in line with how Thor is actually depicted and not the chiseled Chris Hemsworth from like Thor 1 or Thor 2 Dark World. So I don't know. I don't know why people are getting upset over it. I think it's fine as long as, as long as the game is good, as long as the graphics look good. I don't care how they look,
Yeah. Okay. No, I agree. And I can't wait for Thor to go up against Ra, the sun god, in Egypt. And,
in the new remake, the new remake
for the PS6 launch title.
I think I'd be awesome, right? Go up against Rod or Cyrus, and
All right. So we talked a little about Xbox, PlayStation. Let's shift gears and talk about Nintendo. Nintendo Switch, the original version, the original model, got a price drop about $30, American, the equivalent to an American version in Europe. But by all accounts, they're saying from a statement that this is a European price drop only and not going to happen in other territories, at least for now. Right? I think this is something that will happen probably next year, right? As production on the Switch OLED happens. I think they will want to phase out, because right now, Nintendo never does well with 3 versions of a console, right?
That's a lot.
When they have 3 SKUs.
That's a lot.
So I think they want to phase out the original Switch and go Switch OLED or Switch Lite.
I think you're right. I think that'll kind of be the norm. It's probably going to take a little bit to do that, given the extra $50 price tag, and not to say that all you get is a screen upgrade, but I don't think a lot of
price tag will dramatically drop in like 2 years.
Well, I mean, it needs to. It needs to be able to, because if you go from 200 to 300, that's like, okay, and you can see that, well, this is for families. You can break off the controllers like Kit Kats. You can do multiplayer on it, where the Switch Lite doesn't have that. You can't dock it, right? It's just a portable system, right? So you people can see what the benefit to those two things is. When you go from 200 to 350, it's like, well, what do I get new? I mean, you get a better screen, sure, but not everybody necessarily cares about that. We care about that, right? We want the OLED, we want the deep blacks and all that. But if you can get that down to 300, then 100% you're going to have the 2 systems, right? It'll just be those 2.
Yeah. Not just that. We get an update for the Switch that brings a feature that we've been looking for years, since the launch of the Switch. And that is Bluetooth audio. You now can put Bluetooth headphones on your Switch. Finally, I thought it was more so a hardware thing. But
so did I.
It's been 5 years and they finally did it in a software update. What took them so long? This should have been at the launch of the Switch. This infuriates me. If they would have said, here's a Switch OLED, you can use Bluetooth audio, right? At least, okay, all right, I got to buy the new Switch. That incentivizes people like me to buy the new Switch. Not only that, I have the OLED screen, I can use Bluetooth audio, but if it was a software update, why didn't you do this from the jump? That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Spend money to buy Bluetooth alternative. It just, want my headphones.
You had to buy a dongle, which hook up to the USB-C connector, which was a Bluetooth receiver. You could do it that way. Then you get this extra $30, $40, $50, $60 thing that you could easily lose because it was tiny. All right. You had to use that, and that wasn't that great. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nintendo does the Nintendo thing.
Exactly. It's the worst. But now it's that much better. They could only add voice chat support.
Well, now you still have the Nintendo app online.
Yeah, right. You still got to do all that. So.
But there is some good news. There was a patent found for a new controller for the Switch, right? And it was in the same vein, the same sort of 6-month exclusivity, so they can't like reveal the actual patent. When the Nintendo Switch Online NES controller and the SNES controller was revealed right in September. So the rumors are that not only are we going to get Game Boy and Game Boy Color Nintendo Online, that maybe we'll get the N64 online with the N64 controller.
Is that patent stuff like that 6-month exclusivity? Is that for like any patent across the board or specific patents?
I think it's really for. I'm not again, I do, in my day job 9 to 5, I do the legal work, but I'm not. It's always weird to talk about patents because when you take the bar exam, there are 2 different bar exams, right? Like you could be like the regular bar, and you got to do patent law.
Patent law. It's its own specific thing. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that a number of times. Yeah, I was just curious because I never really thought about it or heard that there was
I have no really expertise when it comes to patents and trademarks. It is like a whole nother beast to slay, but they can't really reveal any of the schematics of it, which kind of makes sense, right? Because if you're still in production of it, but they can't reveal anything until March, which was the same thing with the SNES controller, and they revealed it in September. So now the rumors are ramping up that Nintendo Online will have the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, which has been highly speculated for the last 2 months, and N64, because why would they have a controller for the Game Boy to Game Boy Color? That doesn't make any sense. But they could have a controller for the N64 games.
So you think it's going to be Bluetooth connect up to the Switch and not an N64 Mini?
Oh, it's not going to be an N64 Mini. I think the Mini consoles are done. They want to put all of their, because of COVID, I think they want to put all of their energy and manufacturing costs into producing Switches and Switch OLEDs and Switch lights.
Sure.
I think we're going to get a lot of, maybe not the original Switch, but Switch OLEDs and Switch lights, because the Switch Lite takes the place of the 3DS, especially with special editions. I don't think they want to divert from that, do minis, right? Because then it's just going to be the same thing with like the PS5 and the Series X, where they can only produce so many at one time, and those going to be scalped. So,
Well, that's certainly a concern, but like I guess
I don't think we're not going to get it. We're not going to get an N64 Mini. Everything is going to be online, and we're going to get a controller.
The question I have is who, right? Like, I get the N64 Mini because it's self-contained, right? You buy the thing for $60 to $100. You get maybe 1 or 2 controllers inside, and you get 20 to 30 games, right? That would be awesome as I remember this. Let me go ahead and pick this up. It's all self-contained, HDMI out, right? And you're done. As opposed to spending a minimum $200, or actually it may have to be $300. I don't know if you can hook up additional controllers via Bluetooth to the Mini. So it's $300 plus whatever the controller costs, $50 to $60 at a minimum, I think, just to play GoldenEye on a kind of weird controller.
If you can get GoldenEye, the license for that is probably.
Oh, I don't even know. Yeah, everyone's like, Banjo Kazooie, GoldenEye, maybe. But yeah, so there you go. I'm going to get it, but I'm not going to use it. If that makes any sense.
There's no mini. I just don't think
it's going to sell well. I don't think it's going to sell well.
It's going to be Nintendo Switch Online, N64, and it's going to be the Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and games you don't care about to be on the with the Bluetooth N64 controller.
Right, but you just all the Switch controller has all the buttons and then some.
Yeah,
you can make it work.
nostalgia-wise, they got to put out an N64 controller because they put out a controller for the SNES and NES. It makes sense that they're going to put out a controller for the N64 to get. I mean,
they did
to have that old school feel.
They did, but it was Yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited for it. I'll say that. Like, I think it's cool that it's.
I like the N64. I mean, and Mario Kart 64, I think, is the best Mario Kart game of all time.
But do you like the N64 controller more than the PlayStation controller or the Switch controller or even the Wii U controller?
Doesn't matter.
Or the GameCube controller. The answer is no.
But the answer is no. The NES controller sucks now, but they put it out and you buy it, right? So
yeah, but you don't use it, though. That's the point that I'm making, is that it's just going to be up on the shelf. No, you don't. You just said you buy it and you don't use it.
No, I do. I do use the NES controller, and I use the SNES controller, and I would use the N64 controller
for a minute, and then it goes on the shelf. I
would still use it.
When was the last time you used the NES controller? And be honest.
The last time I used the NES controller was the last time I played Nintendo Online NES, which maybe about 8 months ago.
Okay, so that's 8 months. 8 months, and you've never had the.
And prior to that, I used it maybe every other week.
I guess. I don't know.
I kept it charged.
Okay. All right.
So, all right. Our final news story.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about controllers. Okay. Well, you don't want to use the N64 controller, right? Then how about using your fingers on your phone? Because Razer now is selling finger sleeves to play mobile games. All right.
Finger sleeves.
$10. Uh-huh. Yeah. You get 2 sleeves, which you could put either on both thumbs or you could put on your index finger. So the maximum way to do it is to buy buy 4 sleeves. So it's 2 sets. So you can put it on your index fingers and your thumb, so you can have maximum control.
Okay. I'm trying to process everything that you just said, because Razer is selling performance finger sleeves to play games on touchscreens, mobile phones.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and I'm looking at the article here. They have Fortnite on the phone, and they're like, get the gaming edge or whatever it is, right? You want to be able to get a performance increase, right? It's like, when like football players wear the the performance gloves and all that, so they can catch.
High sensitivity silver fiber for enhanced aim and controls on a touchscreen. Okay. First of all, if you're gonna play Fortnite competitively or any game competitively, League of Legends or whatever, you're already doing it wrong if you're playing on the phone. You play on the phone casually. You don't play on the phone to win. So this doesn't make any sense to me, right? Anybody who... They're trying to bridge the gap. They're trying to bridge the gap between people on PC and on mobile who are trying to win. They're trying to give you that 1-to-1 controls.
You're already at a disadvantage playing on a controller because of the accelerometer, right? When you move from left to right, it's not instantaneous. When you're playing on a mobile phone, there's so many different things to contend with. I don't know. I am out.
I'm gonna buy it.
You're gonna buy them? Oh my God! I am so curious. You gotta let me know. I mean, they're only $10, right? It's the price point is fine.
I don't care about my index fingers. I just want my thumbs so I can have that high sensitivity control.
Oh my God! Yeah, let me know. Let me know how you do in Fortnite. Even though I don't think you've ever played Fortnite competitively.
No, I'm probably play some Sonic 4, right?
That was sure. Yeah. Right. Because that's like a platformer that needs. Yeah, it's a platformer that needs some kind of precise movements. Wow, gaming fingers, huh? Finger sleeves. Oh my God.
Coming to you from Razer. I'm buying it.
Just sounds so weird.
And that's it for the news. Dave, what do you got going on this weekend?
I'm gonna crush that Yuffie DLC for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, you can do that in like 2 hours after you record.
I know. It's I'm gonna have it beat pretty soon, which is fine. I'm sure there's some additional side quests and whatnot. I already got a couple that I know I could maybe get another hour or two out of it. So, maybe I'll make it a 5 to 7 hour experience. Who knows?
Okay.
How about you?
I'm probably play some Deathloop and play some retro games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Play some more. Maybe try to give The Simpsons another try. Who knows? Or go game hunting. I did pick up a few games I want to talk on a Saturday morning retro show this month.
Yeah. Now look forward to that coming up last Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that's about it. That's it's episode 289 of the books, folks. We want to thank you guys for listening to the show, liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.